Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Social Christian Podcast. I'm your host, Tara. Today's topic is actually a very interesting one. Honestly, the conversation is as controversial as it is interesting. And honestly, please, you guys, don't come for me. Don't come for this is a disclaimer. Please don't come for me in the comment section. Please don't. Whatever I say here is a reflection of my understanding of certain things now and what they are, essentially my opinions really. And I think that as time goes on and like we're all growing in the seasons, I think time will reshape our thought process and thinking. But like this what I have, this is my understanding now, certain things. Okay, but please don't come for me. Yeah, so today we are discussing drugs, and the question really is simple: is doing drugs a sin? Is it really a sin to do drugs? Yes, that's the question. And honestly, you would agree with me that this is a very controversial topic. You have some religious, saying yes, this is a sin, and you have some non-religious people saying no, it's not. But yes, for some of us that are in between the entire conversation, this is what I will say to you. I don't think doing drugs is a sin because for me, I haven't seen anywhere that is written in the Bible that, boldly or explicitly that doing drugs is a sin. And again, I am open to education. Feel free to, educate me or to point me to certain scriptures in the comment section. So your girl can, go and do your research. If you find any form of ignorance in my way of speech, please do well to say that in the comment section. But again, this is what my understanding of certain things now. And yes, as I was saying, I honestly don't feel like doing drugs is a sin because I haven't seen that written in the Bible explicitly. Yes. And I think for me, and also I think I view the thing from a very health standpoint, so a very societal standpoint, in the sense that I think society really frown on doing drugs because it is almost I don't think it's even almost, I think it is a fight against any form of health issues or anything that will attack an individual's health or well-being. So society really, really, really is against it. And so we have a lot of education or a lot of courses in all level of, academia saying that, no, this is not something that you should go for. This is not something that you should do. Right. So I think that's the conversation really where people are really against doing drugs because it is harmful to a person's well-being, a person's health. Yes. But the most interesting part of, the drug conversation for me is the one that is centered on doing weed. And you hear people say doing weed is medicinal. Weed is not a drug. Weed is not a bad thing. And I wonder, are we being honest with ourselves? Are we being serious with our analysis of weed? And some people really have strong arguments back, whatever they are saying that weed is a sin. And some will even go as far as to say, so many Rastafarians smoke weed and they still don't fall sick. And the truth of the matter is I don't have any proof to say that Rastafarians fall sick or they don't fall sick even after doing weed for a very long time. I have no proof that can support to go against that claim. But I feel like the conversation around weed being medicinal is very hypocritical in a sense, and that is what icks me really. My question to anybody that says that to me is, do you do weed for health purposes? Are you doing weed because you want to be healthy? That's the question I ask anybody that says that to me. And because I feel like it should be principle for anybody to stand by whatever they are doing. What you're doing. It's not necessarily because you want to be healthy. And of all the herbal medicines that we think about, I don't think anybody thinks of weed as the first thing. And I think in Africa here, if you ask me, what do you think is a medicinal herb? I'll tell you, mango leaves, neem tree, right? These are the things I'll tell you because these are the things that we're being treated with. And I think there are other herbs that solves cold. There are other herbs that did took care of scarring, herbs that took care of any form of cuts any form of sauce and everything. There were herbs that were used for a lot of things, and like weed wasn't one of them in terms of health purposes. So when someone comes to me and say, I'm doing this, it's not weed, it's not a drug, weed is medicine, and I'm like, huh? Can you be honest with yourself and with everybody around you? Because there should be some level of accountability towards like this whole approach. And what really makes it like even more sad are the people that are smoking it. Like if you are saying it's herbal, right? And you are eating it and you are, consuming it in any form of way that is not smoking, I can understand. Because like I can be like, oh, maybe because it's not being banned, probably you are right. Again, I do not really know the medicinal includes like qualities of weed. I haven't done research on that. But the one thing I am sure about is like smoking weed or smoking in any form of like way is not good for anyone's lungs, because you are inhaling certain things that are not like supposed to pass through the lungs. The lungs is to have good air coming, and then it presses the air and like, send it through the blood vessels. Those of us that did science and, basic school or even SHS or uni, well, right? That's the purpose of the lungs. So when you're inhaling like bent smoke, isn't smoke like bent? What am I saying? But when you're inhaling smoke, obviously it's not something that's supposed to pass through lungs, right? And like it's passing through, then that long term you're going to have acute lung like diseases. That is the logic behind it. But then you have people like smoking weed all the time. People like, and the most alarming thing is a lot of young people are doing it now. They smoke like morning, afternoon, evening, like maybe in the space of like 12 hours, they smoke probably 8 times or more than 8 times. And then they will still tell you that this is not harmful for me. Like this is medicinal to me. And like, that is where I draw the line. I'm like, you are burning something and you are smoking, you are inhaling smoke, and you are here saying to yourself that this is what's good for you. And trying to educate people or trying to buy people into the idea that that is medicine, when what you are essentially doing is, being high. And the thing is, I can understand, or I can be tolerant, or I can be compassionate towards why someone would want to do drugs. Let's be honest, depression is crazy. Anxiety is not a nice thing. And sometimes peer pressure really plays like a bigger role in it. See, there is a certain pool that comes with people passing like a blunt to you, or even shisha. If you go to the clubs, if you enter the club scenes, or even any form of like game nights or like house parties, shisha is passed around all the time. And when the conversation of shisha was happening, when it came out first, shisha is not harmful for you. It's just flavored. They said it was a flavored something. I don't even know what that something is, unfortunately. But it was just it's just flavor. It has nothing else, no form of like drug in there. Until we had conversations that were talking about how shisha had tobacco inside, like how some people even are mixing weed and shisha now. And like people, I don't know that people still think shisha. I have a lot of people that still feel like shisha is really safe, and then they are doing that. They're like, oh, you know what, this is good. It's just flavor, and then they are just going. Same in vaping. I don't know what vaping like is, again, because here in Africa, I don't see a lot of people here in where my community. I don't see a lot of people do vaping as much as they are doing the shishas and they are doing the weed. But I know, like in Europe, I know in US, a lot of people vape a lot. People are really, 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 really vaping. And so, like, in such situations, right, where, like, in the instance of shisha, like, they were told, like, it's just flavor, nothing else sees, and a lot of people, like, are really doing it all the time. Meanwhile, it had tobacco, and, like, it was very harmful to them. You realize that it was more or less like, oh, this is a miseducation, and people really don't know what you're talking about. I, again, believe that if you want to smoke or you want to get high, again, I am compassionate towards these things, because I, for one, have experienced anxiety and depression before. And for me, the reason why I am probably not doing all of these things is because I have found my peace in God. Like, that's where my peace is. That's where my calmness is. That's when, like, when I have a lot of issues and I go, I actually, like, feel my best. and I have hope and my tears and everything. So I am freed in my spirit when I am in the church. That's why I'm always like all about, let's go to church and everything. And I've said that in my previous episodes, in the previous episodes. So yes, I am compassionate because I understand anxiety can be painful. And for me, I like to know why people do anything that they do. And honestly, I sometimes get some of the stories and I sympathize with them. But I believe that there is a form of accountability that we need to assume, right? We need to have that you are doing this not because you want to be healthy. You're not smoking weed. You're not eating weed. You're not doing any type of weed because it's health purpose. Unless, of course, for you actually started taking weed to become healthy. That's a different case altogether. But almost the 90% or 99% of the people I know that are doing weed, it's not because they wanted to be healthy. It's because they wanted to be high, right? And which I can respect. I would respect that if you say, listen, I'm doing this because I want to be high, then you say I'm doing that, it's not a bad thing, it's medicine, so what are you saying? And trying to make it look like you are not even doing this because you actually wanted to become high, right? Yes, that is where I find my ache. And also, to the religious zealots out there, I think, yes, we all understand that, it's not good for you, right? But I think circumstances and a lot of things play into why people even get there in the first place. Sometimes it's really a serious of reasons. Sometimes it's the most heartbreaking of reasons. But I think for us, our position, our stand on it is not for us to, take a stance of judgment or a stance of condemnation, right? It is actually for us to, be kind and be more understanding whilst being firm in our principles and our values so that people can learn them to and understand the position that we are coming from. So yes, if you ask Dora now, is drugs a sin? I would tell you no, it's not a sin, but I do believe that it's not good for your health. I do believe that there are certain different type of avenues that you can take to, calm all of your anxieties. If it's just to have excess energy to do certain things, I really don't know how best you can do that, but I think there are probably good ways there. I think if you are going through anxiety and depression, or sadness, loneliness, I think finding a great hobby, I think doing therapy, I think, surrounding yourself with people that feel good about yourself, or, pursuing a career that makes sense to you, all of those things can, occupy that void or that anxiety or, calm it down. But if you're someone that has all of those things and it's not working for you, for me to, I think Jesus is actually the best antidote because that's what works for me. Exactly, it's working for me. So I'm a testimony of that fact. Yes. But aside that, please, let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be safe. And please, let's spread love and also be firm in our principle. If you're doing weed or any form of drug to, filtering, please, my advice to you is unwarranted. I know, all good. But my advice to you is to really, 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 really take your time in, choosing the people that you surround yourself with, because you should be able to have principles and you should be able to, align yourself with people that really appreciate you for you. I think people respect you more when you are more yourself than anything else. So yes, don't come for me, don't come for me. Please don't come for me. Yes, it's all fun and games. It's all, cute things here. And do well to do well to comment. I would like to hear your thoughts on it. And do well to subscribe to the Social Christian Podcast here on Accord. It's bye for now.